going to give you Chael's week in review. I want to start with the pound-for-pound rankings. I just felt as though a world championship was not enough for Chimaev versus Dricus, and I hope that you guys felt that. I was there, and I only share... When you go to a city, much like it's very hard for me to tell you the energy that New Orleans brought for Dustin Poirier's final contest. But you had to be there. It's very difficult for me to verbalize to you what a fight week in Las Vegas is like when Conor McGregor's on the card. I mean, when I tell you that Ireland boards jumbo jets and they don't stop, I can't really show you that on TV. And I hope that you felt how big Chimaev versus Dricus ended up being. I assure you they have a record somewhere. There was an announcement, I missed it. Whether that was a building record, a live gate record, an attendance record, all around revenue, this thing turned out to be huge. And it was the kind of fight where a world championship wasn't enough. But what else can you be fighting for? Well, the rankings. And even though that's not something you can take with you, you do this sport for intrinsic value. It gets advertised as promotion and ego and fame and fortune, but it's being done for intrinsic value. The reason that Khamzat Chimaev wore his black belt instead of his world title belt, they're not even close perception-wise, but internally, that's the one that he felt took precedence. So the rankings do matter, and the fact that Chimaev came in, got the world title, remained undefeated, and got recognized in a top 5 pound for pound is very relevant to the story. Now, Sean Strickland got a 6-month suspension. Not all infractions are created equal, but you do learn a lot about the person with their response once justice weighs down. And Sean Strickland has been as above board about this as can get. He has never once offered an excuse. He has never once tried to sidestep it or act as though he shouldn't be in front of that commission. Sean Strickland handled this so well that the victim, is that word too strong? The victim in this has publicly defended Sean, which I don't believe is a conclusion that somebody would get to if they were not privately given an apology. I don't know that to be the truth, but that's what I believe. And as far as how Sean Strickland handled it, come on. It was great. 6 months, retroactive, gets him eligible towards the end of this year. I believe still on track with Izzy. I believe that only because the UFC, nor Sean Strickland, nor Izzy has said anything to lead us to believe that we're not still going to go in that direction. More to come. UFC middleweight contender race. Guys, there is nobody who has earned the right to speak to you about middleweight more than me. Now, I may have to stand down. I may have to show a humility if Anderson Silva came out and started doing a lot of interviews. Perhaps the no one more than me, perhaps even that has a limit. But I was the king of middleweight. I never lost to a middleweight. I never lost a round at middleweight. I never lost a complete minute of fighting at middleweight. So take it from me when I tell you, it has never been as hard as it is now. I never had to wake up with anyone I had to worry about, aside from Anderson. Now, I don't even know who the best guy is. I'll recognize Chimaev, and he's completely undefeated, so it might be him. I'm not sure Dricus isn't the next best thing, but we're not talking about him as the number 1 contender. We're going to put him in a rematch, so I guess I better not bring it up. I don't know where Izzy and Strickland fit, but I know they're high. I don't know where Paulo Costa or Jerry Cannonier fit, but I know that's a tough night out from anybody. I don't know what you want to do with Robert Whittaker, but you're going to be alone if you want to come out and start disrespecting him. Then you've got RDR. Again, I don't know where Bo Nickel fits into this mix, but I don't think there's 3 of them that can deal with him. Imanov's never gotten his credit. I'm trying to change that. I haven't given Imanov credit. I'm actually working diligently to change that. Fluffy Hernandez doesn't give a damn what any of you think. He will fight anybody. That guy is as close to a street fighter about to win a world championship as this sport has ever seen. I mean, I am just sharing like the contenders race at middleweight is so incredibly massive. Oh, by the way, I haven't even mentioned the guy that was just a backup fighter in Caio Borralho. I met Caio the other day. I've met Caio before. I met him. I coached one of Caio's teammates. A great pleasure of mine was to coach Diego. But I'm with Diego at the PI, and he's part of Fighting Nerds, and he introduces me to Caio. So aside from that, okay, I see Caio. Last week in Chicago, he's cutting weight. When a dude is cutting weight, leave him the F alone and judge him for nothing. If he's rude to you, if he doesn't give you the right energy, if he doesn't shake your hand when you're introduced, give him a pass. He is not himself. His body and mind have stepped outside themselves to get this task done. And this is when I run into Caio. And Caio stops what he's doing. And he yells to me, "Hey, Sonnen!" Now, only the Brazilians call me Sonnen. Like, a lot of people go by their last name. That even happened back in high school. I didn't. Unique enough name, people just called me Chael. Only the Brazilians referred to me as Sonnen. So he yells, "Hey, Sonnen!" So I look over, and he goes, "It's Caio Borralho." I got it, dude. I got it. I promise I am working on that. Caio Borralho. All right? But he, as we're talking about top contenders, I believe is at the top of the list. If they were not going to hold any matches in the World Championship and you had to pick a guy right now, I believe you go to Caio. I believe that you always default to the most recent backup fighter. And there's only one time, there's actually two times. Two times in history of backup fighters that it did not go this way. This will be the third time. But that's also a unique situation because Caio was already signed to fight him. All right, now Gable Steveson announced his MMA debut. Listen, I don't know how much I want to do on this because I've never been honest with you guys to start with. There is pieces of information that I get. Sometimes I'm in the wrong place at the right time. Somebody takes a phone call when I'm in a situation, right? And then I'm supposed to pretend like I didn't hear it. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. I get armed with information. Now, if you want to be in areas to have that information, there's one deal, one rule. Don't repeat it. So it's been very hard for me to cover the Gable piece when I know that Gable got stabbed in the back by somebody he considers a friend. It's very hard for me to know unequivocally that the UFC was going to sign Gable Steveson and they were told, don't do it, he's not ready. It's hard for me to do any Gable piece when I've got to dance around that constantly. So I'm going to set that down for you Eagles, and I'm going to get out to the final topic of Chael's week, which is Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, I hope works. I'm a supporter of Jake Paul. Tank Davis is really stupid. And normally when you say that about somebody, you're insulting them. I'm not attempting to. Believe it or not, I'm not attempting to. This is a street guy who found out how to be a millionaire. And he attached himself to the right people and he did the right work. Like, there's a lot of compliments that I can give Tank, but he's really, really ignorant. He doesn't know how to promote this fight. When the Middle East was letting it rain money on boxers, Tank was stupid enough to tell the media that he was going to take advantage of that generosity and that he wanted a Ferrari. To which they responded, "You want a Ferrari? Go to a fight and get some money and buy your own Ferrari." I mean, I'm just sharing with you. That would be a level of stupid, but it didn't make him a bad guy. It's just when you're teaming up with somebody, particularly in a spoof fight, right, that doesn't affect the rankings and isn't about world championships and isn't about legacy. It's a Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. Like, it's a lot of fun, and I don't want to miss this. I don't fully know what's happening, but I do admit something special is happening here. When you're doing a match like that, it's important to have the right guy. We are 5 days into this announcement, and the only thing that Tank cannot bring up is an excuse for failure based upon size. Because this entire thing is predicated on the size. The entire thing is David versus Goliath. superior skills to superior athlete. It is the law of the jungle. It is quite literally why the porcupine can't go with the lion, and we all understand it. The only thing you can't do is draw attention to that from a standpoint of I could lose. You can point out that you're smaller, and you quickly double down that the experience and the expertise of the sweet science of which you and you alone possess are going to come out on top. We are 5 days in, and Tank has already revealed Jake's a little too big.